Have you ever wondered what makes certain women absolutely irresistible, almost like they've got this secret magnetic pull? Well, what if the answer isn't in the latest dating advice, but rather in the profound ideas of philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer? Stay with me, because this video is about to show you how the Sigma woman's magnetic energy is not just a theory. It's been confirmed by Schopenhauer himself. Alright, let's talk about Sigma women. These are the women who don't just follow the crowd. They make their own path. They're the ones who don't need validation from anyone, especially men. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in expectations from society, from family, even from friends. But Sigma women? They've got their own rules. They're independent. They know their worth, and they never settle. Now, you might be asking, how do Sigma women manage to stay so in control? The answer lies in their unique approach to social dynamics, especially when it comes to men. It's not about chasing them or trying to earn their approval. In fact, sometimes it's the exact opposite. Sigma women ignore men, and that's where the power lies. See, in a world that often places pressure on women to be the perfect partner, to be constantly sought after, and to make men feel important, the Sigma woman takes a different approach. She doesn't jump through those hoops. She doesn't play by those rules, and that's exactly why she's able to command respect. In fact, many Sigma women face this challenge daily, the expectation to perform or prove their worth in relationships. And it's exhausting. What makes this even harder is the societal narrative that women need to please men in order to be respected or loved. But let's break it down. Why does ignoring men actually work for Sigma women? 1. Self-respect over validation. The Sigma woman's power lies in her ability to prioritize her own needs over external validation. She doesn't wait around for anyone to tell her that she's valuable or worthy of attention. Society often conditions women to seek approval from others, particularly men, in order to feel validated or secure in their worth. But the Sigma woman isn't buying into that narrative. She understands that her value doesn't come from what anyone else thinks of her. It's not about the compliments she receives or the way men react to her presence. It's about knowing who she is, what she stands for, and what she brings to the table. She's perfectly comfortable in her own skin, and this self-assurance is what makes her so attractive. It's not about playing the game or trying to win someone's approval. It's about being unapologetically herself. The Sigma woman doesn't need a man's attention to feel good about herself. She doesn't need someone else to validate her existence or define her worth. She already knows her value, and she's not dependent on external opinions to reinforce that. This inner confidence comes from within. It's something she's cultivated through self-awareness, life experience, and a strong sense of identity. The beauty of this confidence is that it's magnetic. When a woman is genuinely comfortable with who she is, she doesn't have to try hard to attract the right people into her life. She doesn't chase after attention or approval. Instead, people are drawn to her authenticity and strength. And when men see a Sigma woman who isn't desperate for their attention or approval, they notice. There's something undeniably compelling about a woman who stands in her own power without needing anyone else to validate her worth. It's a level of self-respect that men, especially those who are secure in themselves, can't help but admire. When a Sigma woman refuses to seek validation from others, she gives off a quiet strength. She's not insecure or hungry for compliments. She's focused on her own goals and aspirations. Men, whether they realize it or not, respect this kind of independence. They recognize that a woman who doesn't need them to feel good about herself isn't just strong, but also someone with a clear sense of purpose. This lack of desperation sends a message that she's not interested in chasing anyone, and that's incredibly attractive. It's also empowering for her. The Sigma woman doesn't rely on a man's approval for her happiness or self-worth. She's in control of her emotions and her life, and that makes her much more appealing than women who constantly seek approval or validation from others. Men can sense when a woman is emotionally independent, and they respect it. This self-reliance allows the Sigma woman to maintain boundaries and assert her needs without feeling guilty or worried about how it might affect her relationship with others. She knows her worth, and that is her strength. The confidence that comes from not needing validation from anyone else allows her to walk through life with her head held high, free from the pressures that often hold other women back. Her power lies in her ability to live for herself, not for anyone else's approval, and that is a power that men absolutely respect. Stop for a moment. If you're loving the message so far, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more empowering content. Let's keep the conversation going. Now, moving on to the next point. Boundaries are key. 2 boundaries are key. Sigma women understand that setting clear boundaries is essential to maintaining their peace and self-respect. Boundaries are not just about saying no when something doesn't feel right. They are about protecting your energy, your time, and your emotions. The Sigma woman knows this better than anyone. She understands that without healthy boundaries, she risks losing herself in relationships, friendships, and interactions. She doesn't let others dictate how she should feel, behave, or react. She controls the narrative of her own life. Men who come into her world quickly realize that there are no shortcuts, no manipulation, and no bending her boundaries. If you want her time or attention, you have to respect her limits. The Sigma woman doesn't tolerate disrespect or people who take advantage of her kindness. She makes it clear early on that she has standards and expects them to be met. It's not about being rigid or unapproachable. It's about protecting what matters most to her. When men understand that she won't settle for less, they learn to treat her with the respect she deserves. The Sigma woman's boundaries help maintain her mental and emotional stability. In a world that often expects women to be caregivers, pleasers, or to constantly put others first, the Sigma woman refuses to put herself last. She knows that she cannot be her best self for others if she's constantly depleted or compromised. Whether it's with men, family, friends, or even work, she ensures that her needs are met first. And in doing so, she teaches others how to treat her. Men, especially those who are used to the traditional dynamic of chasing women, are caught off guard by this. They may be used to women who are eager for attention or who tolerate poor behavior, but the Sigma woman won't stand for it. She won't tolerate emotional games, disrespect, or manipulation. When she's clear about her boundaries, men know that they must rise to the occasion. They can't expect her to just settle for whatever scraps of attention or affection they throw her way. The Sigma woman doesn't need anyone to fill the void within her. She's whole and complete on her own, and that's what makes her so valuable. It's her emotional strength, her ability to stand firm in what she believes, and her commitment to maintaining her peace. Men who understand this about her will respect her. They won't take her boundaries as a challenge, but as a sign of her strength and self-assurance. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Her boundaries are non-negotiable, and she'll always make sure she's surrounded by people who value them. In fact, the Sigma woman's boundaries aren't just for protecting herself. They're also a way to empower others to do the same. She encourages those around her, especially other women, to set their own boundaries and never let anyone overstep. When you respect yourself enough to maintain boundaries, others will learn to do the same. Men find this quality incredibly attractive because it shows strength and self-assurance. The Sigma woman is confident in her decisions, and she won't back down from them. Boundaries are not something to be tested or pushed. They are a reflection of who she is and what she will accept in her life. The Sigma woman leads by example, showing others that you can have love, respect, and peace in your life without compromising who you are. And for this reason, her boundaries become one of the most respected aspects of her character. Hold up for a second. Before we get deeper into this, if you're feeling this message, show some love with a thumbs up. Comment your thoughts below and subscribe for more content like this. It really helps out the channel. 3. The mysterious appeal. The Sigma woman carries a unique kind of energy. It's the kind of energy that makes her stand out in a crowd without even trying. There's something about her that draws people in, yet keeps them at a distance. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about maintaining a sense of mystery that keeps everyone intrigued. This mysterious aura comes from her ability to remain independent, to keep some parts of herself reserved, and to never fully reveal all her cards. Men, especially, find this aspect of the Sigma woman incredibly compelling. In a world where people are constantly seeking attention and trying to put everything about themselves on display, the Sigma woman stands out by not needing to be constantly seen or heard. She doesn't feel the need to share every little detail of her life with the world, and that adds to her mystique. There's an allure in not knowing everything about someone. People are drawn to her because she's not an open book. They have to earn the privilege of getting to know her, and that makes them want to know more. Men are naturally curious creatures, and when they encounter a Sigma woman, they're often left wondering what she's thinking, what she's feeling, and what makes her tick. The fact that she doesn't give away all her thoughts or intentions makes her even more fascinating. The Sigma woman doesn't need to constantly talk about herself or seek validation through conversations about her life. She's confident in what she brings to the table, and she lets her actions speak louder than her words. This sense of mystery makes her incredibly magnetic, and it also commands respect. Men who try to get too close too quickly are often left feeling frustrated because they can't figure her out. And that, in itself, is powerful. The Sigma woman doesn't reveal herself easily, and she certainly doesn't open up to just anyone. She keeps her emotions, thoughts, and intentions close to her chest until she feels it's worth sharing. This controlled vulnerability adds to her appeal. She's not afraid to be real, but she's careful about who gets to see that side of her. There's something deeply powerful about maintaining control over your own story. Sigma women don't let anyone tell them who they are or what they should be. They define themselves on their own terms. Men who are used to the traditional approach where women often wear their hearts on their sleeves find this intriguing and at times challenging. They want to crack the code, figure out what makes her tick, and earn her trust. And that desire to figure her out doesn't just stop at the surface level. It forces them to dig deeper, to see past the exterior and into the heart of who she truly is. The Sigma woman isn't a puzzle to be solved, but her mystery creates an attraction that's impossible to ignore. She's not doing this on purpose. She's simply living her life on her own terms. But in doing so, she becomes a figure of interest, one who commands respect without needing to try. And while she might not let everyone in, those who do gain her trust are rewarded with loyalty and a bond that's truly one of a kind. The Sigma woman's mystery is a key aspect of her power, and it's part of what makes her so irresistible to the right people. Men know that if they want to gain her respect, they must first respect her boundaries, her independence, and the way she chooses to reveal herself to the world. The Sigma woman doesn't need to chase attention. Her mystery attracts it on its own, for a life on her own terms. One of the most defining characteristics of the Sigma woman is that she lives her life on her own terms. She's not defined by what others expect of her, and she's certainly not confined by the traditional rules of society. While many people, men and women alike, tend to follow the path that's laid out for them, the Sigma woman is more likely to carve out her own journey, unafraid of straying from the norm. This is a woman who makes her own decisions, follows her own passions, and creates a life that reflects her personal values. She doesn't feel the need to follow anyone else's script. Society often pushes women into specific roles, expecting them to prioritize relationships, family, or conform to specific social dynamics. The Sigma woman rejects these expectations. She doesn't need to fit into any mold to feel validated. If she chooses to focus on her career, travel the world, or dedicate herself to personal growth, that's her decision. She owns every aspect of her life and doesn't answer to anyone. This ability to live authentically and independently is magnetic. Men are drawn to this confidence because it's not something you see every day. There's an undeniable power in a woman who makes her own choices and doesn't rely on anyone to tell her how to live her life. She doesn't need anyone to validate her decisions because she's clear about her path. This doesn't mean that she's against relationships or connections, It just means that she doesn't prioritize them above her own personal growth and self-respect. The Sigma woman understands that her happiness and fulfillment come from within, and she doesn't rely on anyone to provide that for her. She's selective about the people she allows into her life, and she's not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't serve her well-being. Men find this quality incredibly appealing because it shows that the Sigma woman isn't desperate for a relationship or to be chosen. She's perfectly content with her own company, and when a man does come into her life, he has to add value. He has to be someone who respects her independence and supports her dreams, not someone who tries to fit her into their world. The Sigma woman's approach to relationships is grounded in equality. She doesn't want to be someone's accessory or afterthought. She wants a partner who understands that her life is her own. She wants someone who supports her passions, goals, and ambitions, not someone who expects her to revolve her world around them. This balance is key to her power. Living life on her own terms means that she won't settle for anything less than what aligns with her values. She's not interested in following the traditional script of dating or relationships just because that's what society says she should do. She knows that when she lives authentically, she attracts the right people who truly respect her. This life on her own terms isn't a rebellion against relationships or connection. It's about ensuring that any connection she forms is on her own terms, one that respects her independence and personal growth. The Sigma woman doesn't need to explain herself to anyone. She's comfortable with her choices, her path, and her freedom, and that's exactly what makes her so powerful. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next part of this empowering series. 5. Emotional independence. Emotional independence is one of the most empowering qualities a Sigma woman possesses. She's not someone who relies on others, especially men, to define how she feels or to provide her with emotional stability. While many women are taught to seek comfort, approval, or reassurance from others in order to feel good about themselves, the Sigma woman has mastered the art of being emotionally self-sufficient. She doesn't need validation from anyone to feel whole. Her emotions are hers alone to manage, and she takes full responsibility for them. This emotional strength comes from within. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about knowing how to navigate life's ups and downs without losing her sense of self. The Sigma woman isn't affected by external opinions or actions because she's secure in her own emotional foundation. When challenges arise, she handles them with calmness and clarity, relying on her internal resources to navigate through them. She doesn't crumble under pressure, nor does she need someone to hold her hand or reassure her constantly. Men who come into her life often recognize this strength, and it commands respect. While they might be used to women who look to them for emotional support or direction, the Sigma woman's emotional independence is not something that can be taken for granted. She knows how to handle her feelings without leaning on others for validation or comfort. This also makes her less likely to tolerate emotional games or manipulation. When a man tries to play on her emotions or create drama to get a reaction, she remains unshaken. The Sigma woman won't give her energy to anyone who isn't emotionally mature enough to meet her where she is. She understands that emotional independence is not just about keeping her own emotions in check, but also about not depending on others to manage her emotional state. It's empowering to know that her happiness is not dictated by anyone else. She doesn't need a man to feel fulfilled, loved, or validated. She's already full on her own. This doesn't mean that she's incapable of love or that she's emotionally closed off. It simply means that her emotional needs are met by her own understanding of herself and her ability to maintain emotional balance. She's not needy, nor does she expect anyone to fix her or provide her with constant emotional support. When she gives love, it's from a place of abundance, not need. She chooses to share her life with others, but she doesn't rely on them to give her emotional fulfillment. The Sigma woman's emotional independence also gives her the power to maintain boundaries in relationships. She's not swayed by emotional manipulation or pressure to conform to someone else's expectations. If something doesn't feel right, or if someone doesn't respect her boundaries, she will walk away. Her emotional independence gives her the clarity to make these decisions without hesitation. Men who respect this about her are drawn to her strength, knowing that she doesn't just tolerate poor treatment or unhealthy dynamics. They know that when she gives her energy, it's because she chooses to, not because she's emotionally dependent on their approval or affection. Emotional independence is not about being emotionless. It's about having control over how you respond to emotions. And the Sigma woman has mastered this art. This makes her incredibly resilient, unshakable, and always in control of her life. And this is exactly why men respect her. 6. Unbothered by games. The Sigma woman doesn't have time for games. Whether it's in dating, friendships, or professional settings, she's not interested in playing mind games or being a part of emotional manipulation. In a world where people, particularly men, often engage in manipulative tactics to get attention or control others, the Sigma woman stands out by being completely unbothered by these tactics. She doesn't play by the usual rules that society or dating culture expects her to follow. There's no chasing, no pretending to be someone she's not, and no need to get caught up in drama or confusion. She doesn't engage in any form of emotional manipulation, nor does she tolerate it. If someone is trying to play games with her, they will quickly realize she's not the type of woman to fall for it. The Sigma woman is straightforward and honest, and she expects the same from others. She knows what she wants and doesn't waste time on anything or anyone who doesn't align with her values. Men who are used to women who play along with games or who try to manipulate situations for validation often find this difficult to understand. They might be used to the chase, to the thrill of trying to win someone's attention or approval, but the Sigma woman is unfazed by it. She doesn't need the attention or approval of others to feel validated. Her self-worth doesn't depend on whether someone pursues her or not. She's confident and secure enough to recognize when a situation doesn't serve her, and she walks away without hesitation. This is a woman who knows her own value, and because of that, she refuses to waste time on anyone who isn't as straightforward as she is. For men who are used to playing games, the Sigma woman's no-nonsense approach is a breath of fresh air. She's not here for confusion or mixed signals. She communicates clearly and directly, making it clear that if someone wants to earn her attention or affection, they need to be honest and genuine. There's no pretending, no drama. What you see is what you get. And that's exactly why men respect her. The Sigma woman's approach to relationships and interactions is simple. She doesn't settle for anything that feels disingenuous or manipulative. When she chooses to invest her time or energy into someone, it's because she genuinely respects and values them, not because she's looking for validation or playing a game. This clarity sets her apart from others who might be more caught up in the dating dance or drama. She isn't swayed by emotional manipulation or superficial charm. If someone wants to engage with her, they need to be authentic and show up as they truly are. This lack of tolerance for games means that the Sigma woman doesn't waste her time on anything that isn't real. She doesn't get caught up in the back and forth or the anxiety that comes with wondering where she stands with someone. She already knows her worth, and she's not looking to prove it to anyone. She simply expects the same level of respect, honesty, and maturity from the people she interacts with. This confidence and emotional maturity make her incredibly attractive to men who are looking for something real. The Sigma woman doesn't need to chase attention or play any games to get it. She already commands it through her authenticity and self-assurance, and that's why men respect her. She's not here for drama, only real connections, and that's a rare, admirable trait. 7. She doesn't need to be liked by everyone. One of the most powerful qualities of the Sigma woman is her ability to remain true to herself without the need for external validation. She doesn't need to be liked by everyone, and that's a freedom that most people can only dream of. Society often tells women that their worth is tied to how many people like them or how much attention they receive. The pressure to be liked, accepted, or approved of can be overwhelming, especially when it comes to dating and relationships. But the Sigma woman doesn't play by these rules. She knows that she doesn't need everyone's approval to be valuable. She's confident in who she is, and her self-worth isn't dependent on others' opinions. While most women might seek approval or adjust their behavior to fit in with a particular group, the Sigma woman is unwavering in her authenticity. She doesn't change herself for anyone. Whether someone likes her or not is irrelevant to her. She doesn't waste time worrying about people who don't appreciate her. She understands that people's perceptions are shaped by their own experiences, biases, and insecurities, and she refuses to take that personally. The Sigma woman understands that not everyone will connect with her, and that's okay. She's not looking to please everyone she meets, nor does she feel the need to win people over. She's comfortable being herself, and she understands that the people who truly matter will recognize her value without needing to be convinced. Men are especially drawn to this trait because they can sense when a woman is genuinely herself. There's something incredibly magnetic about a woman who isn't trying to be someone else just to fit in. The Sigma woman doesn't have time to chase after validation or try to make herself palatable to everyone. She's already aware of her worth, and she knows that the right people will see it. This freedom to not care about being liked means she's less likely to engage in drama or try to force connections with people who aren't a good match for her. She's not interested in relationships or friendships that require her to change who she is. She values depth over superficiality. This approach also gives her peace of mind. When you stop caring about being liked by everyone, you stop putting energy into things that drain you or hold you back. You start making decisions that align with your values, not based on what others think or how they perceive you. The Sigma woman isn't looking for approval, she's looking for respect. This is what makes her incredibly powerful. She doesn't need anyone to validate her, and that is a strength many men admire. When a man sees that a woman isn't seeking his approval, he knows he's dealing with someone who has a solid sense of self and isn't willing to compromise who she is for anyone. This is the kind of woman who stands her ground, and it makes her all the more attractive. She's emotionally self-sufficient, independent, and confident in her own skin, and that's why people are drawn to her. She doesn't need to be liked by everyone because she already knows who she is, and that's all that matters. It's a level of freedom that commands respect. And for men who understand this, they know that the Sigma woman is not just special, but powerful. She doesn't need validation to feel complete. She already is. 8. Sigma women know what they bring to the table. The Sigma woman understands her worth deeply, and she doesn't need to seek reassurance or confirmation from anyone. She knows exactly what she brings to the table, and that clarity gives her an undeniable confidence that men can't help but respect. This isn't about arrogance, it's about self-awareness and understanding her value, both in relationships and in life. The Sigma woman doesn't downplay her achievements, talents, or strengths. She recognizes that she's unique and brings something special to the table, whether in a personal relationship, a professional setting, or in her social circle. She doesn't need to seek validation because she already knows that what she offers is valuable. Men who encounter her often realize that she doesn't need anyone to tell her how amazing she is. She already knows. This kind of self-assurance is rare, and that's what makes the Sigma woman stand out. While many women might seek external praise or validation, the Sigma woman is content in knowing that her worth doesn't depend on what others think of her. She doesn't rely on compliments to fuel her confidence. Whether people see it or not, she knows her value. This clarity in self-worth comes from years of building up her own sense of identity and not allowing others to dictate who she should be. The Sigma woman has built a life that reflects her true self. She's worked hard to achieve her goals, develop her skills, and be the best version of herself, and she knows that this speaks for itself. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Men often admire this about her. The Sigma woman doesn't need a man to feel complete or to feel validated. She is complete on her own. Her independence isn't something she feels the need to flaunt, but it's something that naturally radiates from her. She knows she brings value to any relationship or interaction, and that value isn't contingent on what anyone else can give her. This doesn't mean that she isn't open to partnerships or relationships. It simply means that she won't settle for less than what she deserves. When she enters a relationship, it's because she genuinely wants to share her life, her experiences, and her love with someone, not because she needs to prove her worth. She already knows what she's worth, and she doesn't need a man or anyone else to affirm that. Men, especially those who are self-assured themselves, recognize this quality in Sigma women. It's not about games, manipulation, or trying to win approval. The Sigma woman stands firm in her sense of self, and anyone who wants to be part of her life has to respect that. She doesn't settle for anyone who doesn't understand or appreciate what she brings to the table. She sets high standards, not out of arrogance, but because she knows she's worthy of the best. Her confidence isn't based on external recognition. It's built on the solid foundation of knowing her strengths, her value, and what she has to offer. For the Sigma woman, this self-awareness is key. It's the reason she's able to walk through life with poise, confidence, and an air of self-assurance that commands respect. When you know what you bring to the table, you never have to settle for anything less than what you deserve, and that's why men respect Sigma women. She doesn't need validation. She already knows her value. And here's the empowering realization. When Sigma women stop trying to seek approval and start prioritizing their self-respect, everything changes. No more chasing after validation or attention. No more compromising who you are to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. Sigma women stop bending to the expectations of others and instead choose to stand strong in their authenticity. When they stop seeking approval, they start attracting the right kind of respect and admiration from those who truly see them for who they are. It's a profound shift. When you no longer chase approval, the respect you deserve naturally follows. People begin to see your worth because you've already seen it yourself. This shift is the key to living with true self-respect and confidence. It's not about fitting in or trying to make others feel comfortable with your choices. It's about fully accepting yourself and showing up as you are, without apologies. Schopenhauer's philosophy speaks directly to this dynamic. He argued that the most powerful women are those who refuse to follow the typical, socially expected patterns. These women are independent thinkers, unafraid to carve their own paths, and they refuse to be confined by society's narrow definitions of success or femininity. This independence is a force that cannot be ignored, and it's this power that Sigma women harness with ease. Schopenhauer believed that the most respected women are those who live authentically and don't let societal norms dictate their behavior. And this idea isn't just philosophy, it's a reality for Sigma women. They understand that when you embrace your independence, when you stop bending to societal expectations and start living for yourself, you unlock a unique, powerful energy. This energy is what attracts the right people, those who value your strength, independence, and authenticity. Many people overlook this power, but Sigma women? They've known how to wield it all along. Their quiet confidence, rooted in self-respect, demands respect from others in return. They've mastered the art of living by their own standards, and that's a power that cannot be underestimated. No one can diminish their sense of self-worth because it's built on a solid foundation of independence and emotional strength. This is the moment when everything changes for Sigma women. They stop playing the game, they stop chasing validation, and they start attracting everything they've ever wanted: respect, admiration, and the kind of relationships that align with their true selves. So, to all the Sigma women out there, this is your power. Embrace it. Don't shrink yourself or compromise who you are to fit into anyone else's expectations. It's not about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about owning who you are, unapologetically. It's about standing firm in your beliefs and letting the world adapt to you, not the other way around. Your independence isn't just a trait, it's your superpower. It's what makes you magnetic, strong, and unapologetically authentic. Your value is not tied to anyone's approval, but your own, and that is what makes you invincible. Now, I want to hear from you. Sigma women, What's been your experience with ignoring the games and focusing on your own path? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this conversation going because your voice matters. And if this video resonated with you and left you feeling empowered, make sure to check out my next video on how to build unshakable resilience and self-worth. Keep that fire burning, ladies. Keep doing you. Your path is yours to create.